A small explosion damages a section of railway track outside Mukden in the northeast of China. The damage is minor. A train passes over it without incident minutes later. By morning, the Japanese Kwantung Army has used the explosion as justification to seize the entire city. Within 5 months, Japan controls a territory the size of France and Germany combined. The explosion was staged. The document that authorized it has never been found. This is the story of how a forged document started a war. The Kwantung Army is Japan's largest overseas military force. It is stationed in Manchuria under the terms of a treaty that gives Japan rights over the South Manchuria Railway and the territory around it. By 1931, the army has been in Manchuria for 25 years. It has its own supply lines, its own intelligence apparatus, and its own view of what Japanese foreign policy should look like. That view does not always match Tokyo's. The men who plan what will become known as the Mukden incident are not acting on orders from the Japanese government. They are acting against them. Colonel Seishiro Itagaki and Lieutenant Colonel Kanji Ishiwara are the operations architects. They believe that Manchuria must be seized and held as a resource base for Japan's industrial expansion. They believe Tokyo will never authorize it, so they decide not to ask. The operation requires a pretext, an incident that will justify military action in the eyes of the international community, or at least create enough confusion to act before the international community can respond. The railway track outside Mukden is the pretext. A small charge is placed by Japanese Kwantung Army officers. It detonates on schedule. The damage is insufficient to stop a train. That detail will matter later. Within hours, Kwantung Army commanders claim that Chinese soldiers sabotaged the railway. The claim is false. They know it is false. They issue orders to advance on Mukden and surrounding positions before Tokyo can countermand them. When the Japanese government learns what is happening, it attempts to stop the operation. The telegram ordering a halt arrives too late. The army is already moving. The League of Nations investigates. The Lytton Commission arrives in Manchuria in 1932 and produces a detailed report. It finds that the explosion was insufficient to cause significant railway damage, that a Japanese train passed over the site shortly after the blast without incident, and that the Chinese sabotage story is not supported by the evidence. The commission concludes that Japan's military action cannot be justified as self-defense. Japan withdraws from the League of Nations in 1933. What the Lytton Commission cannot fully establish is the paper trail. Who gave the final authorization for the operation? Whether Itagaki and Ishiwara acted entirely on their own initiative or whether someone above them knew and chose not to stop it. The internal documents of the Kwantung Army's planning process are not recovered intact after the war. Some are destroyed, some disappear. The question of what was written down, by whom, and when, but the question of whether a document exists that authorized the Mukden incident at a level above 2 colonels remains open. At the Tokyo War Crimes Tribunal, Itagaki is tried and convicted. He is executed in 1948. Ishiwara is called as a witness but not indicted. He dies in 1949. Neither provides a complete account of who else knew and when. The tribunal's record is extensive. The gap at its center is the authorization. The Mukden incident does not end in Manchuria. It is the template. The logic of the staged pretext: create the incident, justify the response, move before anyone can verify the facts, appears again in 1937 at the Marco Polo Bridge outside Beijing, where a minor skirmish between Japanese and Chinese troops escalates into full-scale war within weeks. The circumstances of that skirmish are also disputed. The documentation is also incomplete. The Marco Polo Bridge incident kills more people in its first month than the entire Mukden operation. The document trail there is also thin. Whether the same institutional logic that produced Mukden produced the Marco Polo escalation, whether the template was deliberately reused, is a question that military historians have been working on for 80 years. They have not finished.